Show on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, we welcome you in. Glad you're along for the ride. The new drug today is more camp activities and some exciting camp activities, I think. Frangie along with Hayes Carline, JJ LaSelva. Oh, there's some other little things going on too, JJ, like a trade deadline, like the Protect College Sports Act, and other things going on in the world. We're going to talk about football practice, okay? That's what we got for you. JJ, I don't know what you got in there. We got football practice in here.
The end of Major League Baseball, as we know it, is what we have as well, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I said this.
I don't know what I'll be doing next summer.
I said last week that Tarek Skubal will become the first player in Major League history to be traded to 25 teams all at the same time because they were all getting him. And then when we saw it, I thought, well, of course the Dodgers got him. I mean, and the more you think about it, right, of course he was going to the Dodgers.
I heard last week about the, conspiracy that all the owners are like wanting Skubal to go there, and because, like obviously that would push things in their favor. And it went into fruition, and I'm very upset about it as a Braves fan.
Yeah, there will be I don't think there's much question. There will either be a cap or a long stoppage or both. At this point, I think no matter what side of the fence you're on that one, everybody kind of acknowledges that's where we're headed.
I'm already picking out like books to read next year. I think I might learn Spanish. I'm gonna have
I'm gonna learn to play the guitar.
Months. Yeah, exactly.
Oh goodness, so that's perfect. The other big sport, we'll get to Jaguar stuff in a minute because that's why we're here for the most part this time of year. But I did think it was interesting the momentum, Hayes, that the Protect College Sports Act got. And now listen. It hasn't even been voted on in the Senate yet. It hasn't even gone to the House yet. It's got to come out. It hasn't come out of either chamber. The executive office hasn't approved it. But you now get the sense everyone's going to – it's yeses across the board. So it looks like now – and later on the show, I'm going to really go through everything, what all the details of it. But you now get the impression that college – for the first time in a long time, college sports is going to have some rules.
Well, you certainly hope so, and hope that there's some finality that comes with this and some stability. Because it's got to get figured out, and it's just like we've heard university presidents and conference commissioners, and I mean it's not sustainable, and it isn't. So. It's encouraging, and it was good that the SEC and Big Ten were able to get the revisions in that they wanted and to get to a point of agreeing to it. So, because, I mean, I think we're all fatigued by it. I mean, it's like everybody wants, you want what the NFL has. The NFL owners do incredibly well. The NFL players do incredibly well. And but there's stability and there's contracts and so hopefully no one's saying that like the college kids shouldn't get anything with all the billions they're bringing in, and but it's just been weird how the leverage has been 100% on both sides now, with never any meeting in the middle. The schools had all the leverage for 100-something years, and now over the last 5 years, the players have all the leverage, and so. Yeah, they've got to get that evened out.
Yeah, so and we'll go through some of the specifics of it. So a lot to talk about today on the program. Glad you're with us on the Monday. As always, our Monday brought to you by our friends at The Best Bet, the best place around to have a really good time here in town. And I mean that sincerely. They do a great job, my friends at The Best Bet. So a lot to talk about there. We'll get to some of that coming up in a bit. But camp, first and foremost, I thought that it was only 2 catches and 1 pick, but I thought the presence with which Travis Hunter played yesterday, there were more oohs and ahs, and he's not the first guy to have 2 good catches and an interception in a practice. I get it.
Well, he probably is. There's probably rare territory but, in terms of the pick and the 2 catches.
Well, good point. But it felt like 37 catches and 12 picks, didn't it? It just felt that way. Good point. You don't do both. All the stuff you've heard about, to me, watching virtually every camp practice last year, calling every play he's ever played in the NFL, I could see glimpses, but more of it was what I had heard and kind of taking in what I had heard and then putting it with what I watched and telling myself I'm seeing the glimpses of why he won the Heisman and played both sides and is this generational stuff. You know what I mean? Yesterday, it was on full display. Yesterday, the explosiveness, the change of directions, the quickness, the ball skills. I thought that was I don't listen. I don't tweet much from practice because there's 78 people that do, and I'm not faulting anybody. I appreciate that everybody does do that, but everybody tweets from practice. So, and our staff does a wonderful job doing that. All you guys do a wonderful job doing it. So but I sent that one out because I thought yesterday he moved the needle as much as anyone, in my opinion, has moved it in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's extraordinary what he's attempting to do. Jordan Lewis talked a little bit about it today when he met with reporters, and we'll play that in headlines. It's extraordinary getting a chance to, to watch this unfold and to see such positive reinforcement through, 5 practices that this is something that he is going to be able to do. And yeah, I mean, maybe I've been underselling him. I thought it would be 100% of the corner snaps and maybe 20% of the offensive snaps. Maybe it'll be more. Maybe it'll be that he plays, no receiver plays 100% of the snaps.
Right.
But if he plays 45% of the offensive snaps and 100% snaps at corner, he's going to be in the MVP discussion. I mean, that is going to be, I think, one of the most captivating storylines of this NFL season is if he can stay healthy and he actually gets through a 17-game season doing this, he's not going to have huge numbers, particularly on a team that we assume is going to continue to win games. It really will be interesting to see if that MVP momentum really gets picked up, because if he goes out and has 4 or 5 interceptions.
Well, let me stop you. That's the number. Or that's the category. The interceptions are the category. To your point, he doesn't have to have 90 catches for 1,800 yards because he's regarded as a guy that helps when he can on offense. But if he has a bunch of interceptions,
and I think he's got a chance because I think they're going to test him.
You would think.
I don't think teams are going to throw away from Travis Hunter this year. So I think he's going to have opportunities to make those kind of plays. Again, we're still talking. It's a 1 in 100. It's a quarterback award for the most part. You could have a Bijan or a Jameer that accounts for 26 touchdowns, and so I mean it's still unlikely, but it's such an extraordinary challenge that if he is really able to successfully be very good at both on a team that, let's again say, flirts with 13 wins,
right?
How could he not be how could you argue that again, I understand if Caleb Williams or whoever throws for 51 touchdowns, but I guess what I'm saying is I think it's something where he could be in the running, he could be part of the conversation, and it's unbelievably cool that we get to see that every day.
And the fun thing will be watching whether he's an MVP, not MVP, watching this really good player play a lot of football. I think that's going to stand out. Look, there's some positions I'm really interested in, and one of those is running back. And in the second hour, we're going to hear from Bashaw Tootin, who you caught up with. And because I think the more I watch, the more I think, the more I process it in my mind, that might be the biggest position to me that if it becomes what it can become, they're going to be really special. That I'm trying to think where I have a question. I have a good team. So we're having to reach for a question mark a little. I really believe that. If running back is pretty good, if running back's what it could be, boy, I think they've got a chance. So we'll certainly talk about that coming up on the program today. You're going to hear from Trayvon Walker in just a minute. Boy, is he important. A huge part of this. Hayes caught up. Hayes, yeoman's work. Hayes caught up with players yesterday and today, so you're going to hear all those interviews coming up on the program today. We'll talk about other things that stood out at practice. I got a handful, as I always do. We'll go through some of the specifics of what we both thought stood out at practice. We'll talk Jags practice. You'll hear from Trayvon Walker. Later on this hour, I am going to talk about the Protect College Sports Act because I think it's very, very important and big stuff. We'll talk about the baseball trade deadline coming up as well. You'll also hear from Bashaw Tootin. That's in the second hour of the program. So a lot of Jags, a lot of training camp, a lot of interviews, and a lot to get to. Glad you're with us on a Best Bet Monday. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Travis Pastrana here from Nitro Circus Live, and you're listening to 1010XL, 92.5 FM, Jack Sports Radio.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I'm local attorney Rick Alexander. In my 30 years practicing law, I've learned you never want to choose money over health. It's always a bad deal. Unfortunately, when someone screws up and you get hurt, that choice is gone. Your only choice is whether you face the future with a lawyer or without one. If you're hurt because somebody screwed up, call me at the practice. The Alexander Law Practice, 904-460-600 or alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
He tackles talk radio like a middle linebacker in the gap.
I tell it like I see it, and I see it like a middle linebacker.
Tommy Mack. Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unsealed by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation? From a real person? Good luck. That is what's so nice about Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Unlike publicly traded conglomerates with headquarters in faraway cities, Mike Merritt's Heating and Air remains family-owned and operated by Mike, your neighbor. Mike Merritt has delivered hometown service, integrity, and pricing for generations. The big guys incentivize their techs to sell you new equipment. Mike's team emphasizes repair first. We only sell you equipment if your current equipment is worn out and beyond repair. And let's be honest about price. Small operations without much overhead can sometimes lowball your job, but you can't trust just anyone with a truck. They may be here today and gone tomorrow. Mike Merritt has been keeping North Florida cool for more than 3 decades. That's experience and dedication you can count on. Call today or see us on the web.
Florida license number CAC 050384.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service,
Instant Keys comes to you.
If replacing those old windows has been on your someday list, well, this is the perfect time to make it happen with the end of summer sale at Renewal by Anderson. Buy 4 windows and get the 5th free. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But this offer ends August 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey roofers, finish and close out jobs same day with PermitRockstar.com. Their full-service permitting platform helps contractors cut permitting delays by up to 80%. Stop waiting and start building with PermitRockstar.com.
Southwest Greens is the OG of artificial turf in North Florida. Stop mowing and start chipping or putting or just relaxing with a beautiful backyard, maintenance free. Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to make sure your property is ready. Weak, damaged, or overgrown trees can become a serious hazard when storms move in. Trust the experts at Lucas Tree Service with over 45 years of experience for professional tree trimming, removal, and storm preparation. Don't wait until a storm is on its way. Schedule your tree assessment today at lucastreeservice.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
All right, speaking of Best Bet, the World Poker Tour is back this month at Best Bet Jacksonville. That's on Monument Road from August 20th to September 9th. Satellites into the championship event are happening right now, so head to Best Bet when you get a chance. We sure appreciate our friends from the Best Bet in those 3 great locations, St. Augustine, Orange Park, and Jacksonville. All right, now time now for the big thing of the day. You know by now. It's brought to you by Big Chief Tire, 6 locations around town, offering the Extra Mile program now, which includes $10 off every oil change, free tire rotations and balancing for the life of your tires, free tire repairs, free air pressure, vehicle inspections as well. That's all part of the Extra Mile program at Big Chief Tire. Find them online at wekeepjacksrolling.com. the big thing of the day continues to be Jaguars practice and Jaguars work. And, boy, today what jumped off the page for me, Hayes, was probably the level of athleticism that I think they have. And I mean on defense. I've said all along the positions that I want to see what they are is running back because they don't have a proven starter there yet or someone that's done it. That's the one spot. And then, obviously, how does the depth on the offensive line play out? Who wins the will linebacker spot? Who's the extra pass rusher? We've said that all along. But I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what I have changed. And it's another spot where they haven't had a lot of proven – there's not a lot of proven starters back there. I think the secondary might be really good. I don't know that I was there before, but boy, Buster Brown looks the part. Again, maybe he's wearing number 1. Maybe that's why, but he looks the part. We've already seen – we just talked about Travis Hunter in the big pick yesterday. Antonio Johnson looks really good to me. Eric Murray and Jordan Lewis are veterans. And where are you going to play Jarian Jones, who might be about as good as any of them? And I'm not sure he's got a starting spot right now. So I love their depth in the back end, and I'm not sure I would have felt that way before camp started.
I agree. I think and it's also cool to hear, like Jordan Lewis touched on this today, like, they made a change in the coaching defensive backfield. And I think it's resonated because you heard Jordan Lewis talking about they're crisper on their details this year. So I think what Anthony Campanile has now is sort of, we've seen it with Liam with the run game coordinator on offense, but I think the staffs have even gotten better is Campanile has been able to go out and get a guy in the secondary that really suits him and sees it sort of the same way he does. And so I think that's benefiting the players. And also you're seeing just young players blossoming. Monteric Brown's still a young guy.
Right.
Jarian Jones still a young player on a rookie contract. Obviously, Travis Hunter's in his just second year. Jordan Lewis has some age to him, some experience in this league, but still plays at a high level. And yeah, the safety spot is really interesting because between the savvy veteran in Murray, the young playmaker in Antonio Johnson, and then you've got Husky and Ransaw. Is a couple of third-round picks that right now, aren't starting for you. So I agree. I like the makeup of the group in general. I think they've got some pretty good depth where when an injury does pop up, I think they can sustain it. They can't have 2 or 3, but and so I do like the way. But I think the number one key is I think the coaching is tighter on the back end this year.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. You're probably right about that. I'll say this too. You went through some of the players. I like veteran players, okay? And I think you need veterans who know what they're doing. There's a moxie to them. There's an understanding of how fast the league is. But I will say this. The secondary is one spot that I don't want a lot of veteran guys. You know why? Because veteran guys are slower. That's just the common sense tells you a 32-year-old guy doesn't run as fast as the 23-year-old guys. You know why? Because if they did, the league would be full of 32-year-old guys, and quite frankly, it's not. So Jordan Lewis and Eric Murray are the 2 veteran guys in their 30s. Everybody, you went through the whole litany of guys. They're all young guys. I mean, every one of those guys, Buster Brown and Travis Hunter and Jarian Jones and Caleb Ransaw and Antonio Johnson. I mean, all those guys are going to play a lot of football. They're all kids, man, and that's okay. You're going to make some young person mistakes. And then you're going to start, like Antonio Johnson did last year, start to blossom. And Jarian Jones had moments. So, yeah, I love you know what I mean, though, Hayes? I like the makeup. I want way more young guys than older guys in the secondary because older guys aren't as fast. That's just how it is, So it'll be fun to watch. All right. Having said all that, none of that matters without a pretty significant pass rush, right? There are 2 elite pass rushers. Let me rephrase that. There are 2 guys who are really good players. One who I think is an elite pass rusher already in Josh Hines-Allen. One who might be something special. Excuse me. And Trayvon Walker. We're going to hear from Trayvon in just a second. But before we go to the interview, where's he headed? We know the ceiling. The ceiling is enormous. He was the first pick in the draft. We also know the floor. If he's healthy, floor's not bad. The floor is 8+ sacks, I would think. I would say the floor. He's had 2 10-sack seasons already. Last year he played really hurt. And by the way, try and grab by the way, quarterbacks are not 5'11", 180. Quarterbacks are 6'4", 230. In this league, if you're a quarterback, you're probably 230 pounds. Would you agree with that? I mean, there's some exceptions, but for the most part, if you're a quarterback in this league, you're probably 230 pounds. Try grabbing a 230-pound athlete with a broken hand, which is what he was trying to do.
And get past NFL offensive tackles.
Yeah, and oh, by the way, there's that. And so, but anyway, where, in your opinion, he's been paid, he's healthy, where's Trayvon Walker headed in his career, in your opinion?
I think he's going to have an outstanding career. I think Trayvon Walker is not even at the prime of his career yet. This is hard to believe. Trayvon Walker is 25 years old. He's younger than Branson Combs.
How about that? That is a great. I would have never known that.
Yeah. So he's still this is going into obviously his 5th year, but Trayvon Walker is still a very young man because of how young he was coming out of Georgia, and again the physical nature of which he plays, and when he is healthy, Trayvon Walker is going to be a player. I don't know that it'll be this year, although I think you're going to see if he stays healthy, a massive year from him. But before Trayvon Walker is done as a Jaguar, he will have at least one season where he's a top 5 defensive player of the year player. I think he's that kind of caliber. We just haven't gotten fully there yet, but we're also not to the prime of his career yet.
And he's also going to be healthy. And let's hope
he stays healthy.
Let's hope he stays healthy, because that means everything. Trayvon Walker, the former Georgia Bulldog, the subject of this Hayes Carlyon one-on-one.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
We're pleased to be joined with standout Jaguars edge Trayvon Walker here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
See you as always. Doing good. Can't complain. How about you?
Those pads going on. I know that gets you excited.
Yes, sir, man. First day, I felt like I always in room for improvement every day, but it was good. I felt like it was a good one.
Liam told us in the end, kind of towards the end of OTAs, that he had spoken to you and he said that your dominance had really shown through the offseason. Trayvon, what were some things that you were happy about with your game, and how has that carried over so far, 5 days into training camp?
I say the main thing for me is it's just been that consistency as far as my rehab and everything like that, and then just being able to be consistent on the field. I feel like that's my main thing, is shooting to be consistent every day within my work, and I feel like it's going to take me and help take the team to where we want to get.
It looked like during one-on-one today, some really good moves from you, some good penetration there. Do you feel like it's evolving how you're playing of getting to the quarterback?
100%. I definitely feel like I'm just head down, I'm just going, man. It's like, if you get in my way, it's only so many things that you can do within the football game itself anyway. So like I said, I just want to go out there, play fast, have fun with the guys, and be in the right spot to make those plays, that 100% of the plays that come my way that I'm supposed to make.
How much has the familiarity helped? Have you ever been in a situation on a football team? You guys basically bring back all the starters, the defensive coordinator is the same, the head coach is the same, and how much does that help you grow as a player?
The familiar faces in the building, it really means a lot, just because it's not a lot of change over. A lot of things is just being carried over from last year. We're just making it like building blocks. We're building off of those things, and then it makes it better for the team just because of the chemistry. Like, you start building the chemistry. Like last year, I feel like we don't really talk about last year, but I feel like last year we laying the foundation to how we wanted this organization to be, and now is where when you have those familiar faces in the building and in the same positions, like, you can just continuously grow from the things that we had last year that we needed to grow from.
I thought it was really cool looking at the Iron Jaguar games that they put out on the hunt for fans a couple weeks ago. It seems like that's a really cool, unique thing that is challenging, but also brings out leadership and camaraderie among the team. How much does that strength and conditioning program help you guys?
Man, that portion of the year, I really feel like that means a lot to us as individuals and us as a team, because obviously, for one, we're pushing each other every day to come in, and like, we're competing against each other regardless of it's in the weight room, on the field. Like, we have like little games, tug of war, little stuff like that. It's just always bring that competitive edge out of people, and who nobody wants to lose at the end of the day. Like, you want to go in there, you just want to have fun. Obviously, you're in there trying to get stronger or whatever, but you still that competition portion. That's all a part of the game as well.
What are some things like that you work on this time of year when the opener is still a little ways out? Is there a certain plan that you follow to get geared up for week one?
For me personally, I think it's just kind of like a build-up phase, like OTAs, like you're not in pads. Like, just say, for instance, you're not in pads. Me, I'm a power rusher, so for me, during OTA period, things like that, once we get 11 on 11, I'm really more focused on emphasizing my hands, footwork, and things of that nature. But once the pads come on, that's when I kind of just start to tie everything together, like what I feel like I do best, which is my power. I just start to implement those things into my game, and then it's really just being consistent with whatever it is I'm working on. Every day that I come into practice, I want to, if it's something that I've seen from film the day before, I want to come in and just emphasize this is this specifically is what I'm working on today. And like I said, I just want to continuously carry that over because it's always something to improve on.
How cool is it to have that relationship with Josh Hines-Allen where you're both elite players at this level, you're both still very young, hitting the prime of your career, you played together now for a while, but there's also pressure to perform and things like that. How cool has it been to have a player that's in such close proximity to you in a lot of different areas of being a professional like Josh?
Man, it's great, especially having a guy like Josh. I always said this ever since I first got here. Josh, he's one of those guys, like, we push each other to be the best that we can be every day. Like, I know the type of player he is. He knows the type of player I am. We're two competitive players. We don't want to be outworked by like, regardless of if it's somebody on the opposing team or even somebody on our team. So we just holding each other to that standard that we know that we can be our best at. And that's iron sharpens iron. I feel like, obviously, we're not going against each other. We both play the same position, but it's still, we hold each other to a very high standard in our room. And just having that relationship with him, I think it trickles over to the team as well. Just because everybody, specifically in our defensive end room, like, everybody's there for each other. Like, if they see something in practice that, like, you might have took a too far of an inside step right here, like, we're all open ears to getting better at whatever it is. So I feel like just having guys like that around, like, it's easy to be able to be coached. Some guys might not like getting coached, but we love getting coached and we love coaching each other.
You're now a leader in that room. What have you seen out of some of the younger guys that you guys are going to need to count on for good quality depth?
Man, like I just said, like, a lot of the younger guys, they take great notes and they carry over things that we talk about in meetings to the practice field. I will say that. Like I say, it's one of those things where everybody in the room is holding each other to a high standard. Like, it's just because you're a rookie, that doesn't matter. Like, yes, you might have to get your feet wet, get a feel of those things, but everybody's being held to the same standard at the end of the day.
This offense really challenges you guys in a lot of areas. You've got now Rodriguez and Tootin running the ball. Obviously, the receivers, the tight ends are very versatile. There's a lot of depth along the offensive line. Is there anything that has stood out to you, surprised you at all from the offensive side of things?
Man, when you talk about those backs, not just the backs, but the whole offense in general, man. We got an explosive offense, but the way those backs hitting those holes right now, bro, that's really hard, especially for guys like me on the edge. Just being disciplined within our gaps and things like that, not shedding too early, because those guys are getting downhill so fast, and then even when they trying to get to the perimeter, they pressing it so much to where if we shed inside too fast, they get the edge, they're gone. So they basically making us better as well. So like I said, a lot of the things that I feel from the offense as well, like, they're going to be explosive, man. It's a sight to see as well.
Awesome. Trayvon Walker, I know it's been a long day in pads. You got a busy day ahead of you, but really appreciate you taking some time for us today. Certainly best of luck to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for always having me.
Yeah, I always enjoy catching up with
He's a
Trayvon.
good dude, isn't he?
Yeah, great dude.
In addition to being a monster potential player and a really good player already, and he's a good dude.
He really is, yeah. And again, just 25 years old. So I think if he can stay healthy, I think he's headed for extraordinary success here, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I think so too. And again, Josh Hines-Allen looks good. He looks good. I will say this: the assortment of pass rusher candidates look pretty good. Strigo looks like he's in good shape. BJ Green has had a great offseason. BJ Green, from what I'm told, might have had as good an offseason as anybody on the football team. The 2 draft picks from this year. There's a lot of guys in the hunt to be that. Keep an eye on BJ Green. From what I'm told, he has had a magnificent offseason, and he might emerge as like a real pass rusher that could really help the team. So it'll be kind of fun to watch. It's been fun watching those guys. There's obviously something there, Hayes. There's obviously a presence about them. It's obviously a talented team, so I can't wait to watch. All right, more Jaguars coming up at the top of the hour. We'll go back to Hayes' one-on-one interviews. We'll hear from Bashaw Tootin. Boy, is the running back important this year. So it's always important, but is it important now to find one guy when you haven't had a lot of guys so far with success in the NFL at that spot? So we'll take a break. But when we come back, I want to get to the Protect College Sports Act. I thought it was a monumental week, how that thing changed gears, got at least to the Senate floor. A lot of thoughts on what this means for college football, who it helps, who it doesn't. That's coming up. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Looking for an engagement ring that doesn't look like everyone else's?
Not every woman wants a cookie cutter ring that you find in every jewelry store around town.
Meet Ben Lupo, second-generation owner at Beard's Diamonds, who says a lot of couples come in today looking for something different, even a custom design ring. They come in with pictures or drawings, or sometimes they combine things they like from several rings into a one-of-a-kind creation.
We can really kind of put all of those notes into one piece and show her her creation. If she likes it, we move forward. If not, we can change it however many times to make sure that we get it correct for her.
And here's the best part. Custom design rings at Beard's usually don't cost any extra.
You really have that ability to fully customize your ring without spending a ton of dollars as opposed to just buying something right out of the case.
So don't settle for a chain store cookie cutter ring. Come to Beard's for all the top designer rings, and where you can also create that one-of-a-kind treasure.
You get the ability to customize your ring and put your stamp on it however you want.
Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center. Online at beardsdiamonds.com.
Truck accidents can happen and can be devastating. Founded in Jacksonville, Edwards & Raggett's is proud to serve the 904. If you've been seriously injured in a truck accident, protect yourself and your family by understanding your rights and legal options. Our attorneys are experienced in handling complex truck cases and can guide you through this. No fees unless you recover damages. Call 904-INJURED or visit 904injured.com.
Edwards & Raggett's, offices Jacksonville.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is served by Dandy Foods. Duval runs on Dandy.
23 years and still getting bigger. The Jacksonville Tattoo Convention is back August 21st through 23rd with hundreds of incredible tattoo artists tattooing all weekend long. Explore unique vendors and artisans. Check out Collector's Alley featuring Pokemon, trading cards, sports memorabilia, comics, toys, and more. It's family friendly, parking is free, and tickets are available at the door. Renaissance Resort at World Golf Village, one of Jacksonville's most unique weekends. Visit setattoo.com for more information.
ET here for Encore Research. What if the next medical breakthrough started with you? Clinical research volunteers play a vital role in helping doctors better understand diseases and develop future treatments. This summer, discover how participating in a clinical research study can advance medical breakthroughs while empowering you to take an active role in your own healthcare journey. Are you ready to learn? Check them out at EncoreDocs.com. Together, we're building a healthier future for Jacksonville.
Tommy Mack here for Duval Glass and Mirror. You don't have to remodel your entire home to make a big impression. Sometimes all it takes is a beautiful frameless shower, a custom-cut mirror, or just replacing that fogged, cracked, or outdated glass that's been bothering you for years. Jacksonville homeowners trust Duval Glass and Mirror for expert craftsmanship, honest service, and flawless results. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote today. There's only one name for glass and mirror. It's Duval.
I'm Kelly, owner of DexaFit Jacksonville. Do you really know your numbers? Body fat, muscle mass, visceral fat, and bone density? At DexaFit Jacksonville, we use the DEXA-Scan, the gold standard for precise body composition. We also measure VO2 max and resting metabolic rate. No guessing, just clinical, science-backed data giving you a complete picture of how your body performs and burns fuel. HSA and FSA accepted. Book today at jacksonville.dexafit.com.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. John's, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trust a company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
All right, progressive jackpots now are available on select table games at all those Best Bet locations. All of them. That means St. Augustine just off of I-95. It means Orange Park on 17. And it means the Monument Row location, that is Jacksonville. It means a small wager could pay out big money, so head to the Best Bet today. Frangie, Carline, LaSelva with you. So the Protect College Sports Act has gone through. I'm going to give you people people followed it for the most part, I think, Hayes. But now I say going through, let me catch myself. It's now been agreed upon by all the principals. It's now going to reach the Senate floor, and it's got to pass the Senate. Then it's got to pass the House. If it gets out of both chambers, the executive office has to approve it, which it's going to. So I think we pretty much know it's going through now, right? Would you say is that a safe bet?
I would. Well, no, but I think it's got its best chance.
Yeah.
It's hard to but that's not necessarily this bill, just
in general,
the politics in general of it.
So let me go through kind
everything.
Here are the key elements. The cap now is $48 million. That's got to include your NIL too. It's not just your rev share, and it's broken up by 21 rev share and a 22 retention bonus and $5 million to women's sports. But $48 million is now the cap, and you can't go over that. And they're gonna watch it just like a pro sports team. You can't go over the cap. To play 5 years is going to be in. You have one free transfer after that. You have to sit out a year. I love that rule. I think that's great. They can pool media rights. They've got a limited antitrust exemption that would allow them to pool media rights if they choose to. Don't look for that ever to happen because the SEC and Big Ten aren't giving up theirs, but it could happen. Here's a couple big ones. Coaches can now not change teams in a season. It's the Kiffin rule. You'll never see that again. You won't be allowed to go from Ole Miss to LSU while your team's still playing. That's interesting. Agents are capped now at 5% of the deals they get for the players, which I think is good. So agents can't, agents can't take players for a ride. So I think that's significant. So all those things are important. The cap is 48, 5 to play 5, 1 free transfer. They can pool media rights if they want to. Coaches can't change teams. Here's one that really affects one of our teams. Conferences are now capped at 19. You cannot have a conference with more than 19 teams. I was surprised that went in there. I didn't even know why it went in there. Okay. It has no effect on Florida. What do they care? The SEC's got 3 openings. If they go get FSU, Clemson, or whoever, so Miami, who cares? But it really affects FSU because Florida State was hoping by 2030 to make its run at the Big Ten. That's when the Big Ten's TV deal with Fox is up, and everybody thought, not everybody thought, but people on the Florida State side, I can tell you, were hopeful that that would be the year they could go pit the Big Ten and SEC against each other. Well, now at 19, the Big Ten's got 18. And you know who 19 is. If they're either going to
touchdown Jesus.
They're either going to stand pat at 18 or go get Notre Dame, which is what everybody thinks is going to happen. So now Florida State only has one potential suitor, and that's the SEC. And I don't know that the SEC would pursue Florida State. I don't know what the SEC would gain from now that you gain a lot of television dollars. So and this caveat, if you leave a conference and go to another conference, you have to be an independent for 5 years in between. Did you see that in there? I mean, you have to be an independent for 5. So if
which is basically the death penalty.
It keeps you from doing it.
Yeah.
It's so what this. I mean, you would have to if Florida State wanted to go to the Big Ten or the SEC, and the SEC say, "Yeah, we'd love to have you. Here, we'll agree to the deal." It's 5 years before you can get there. Well, the SEC or the Big Ten's not going to say, "Yeah, we'll take you in 5 years." They're going to so. And this isn't. I'm not picking on Florida State, but Florida State and Clemson look like the 2 schools that really wanted out. Of all the schools in all the conferences, of all the teams nationwide, of all the teams. Now, let me stop that. Washington and Oregon wanted out, and USC and UCLA wanted out, but they all got out. Of the teams that didn't get out, Florida State and Clemson seem to me to be the 2 that wanted out the most. And now I don't think they're getting out. I guess that's what's significant. So of all the things that I drew from this, that one really stands out to me.
Yeah, if this does end up holding, then that would be a problem. I still don't think it will, but if it does, then yeah, that would present an issue for Florida State because the Big Ten is their best shot. Again, I'd love to see Florida State in the SEC. I think it'd be magnificent. As a fan, I hope it happens. But it just clearly is not what the SEC is looking at if they expand by 3 more teams. They do not have much of an interest in Florida. It's going to be North Carolina, Virginia, and probably NC State, I would think, something like that. And so, that's where if the Big Ten really, if this does go through and Florida State cannot get to the Big Ten, it would put them in a very precarious spot because they've already been very upfront with they are not going to have the financial capability to compete with SEC and Big Ten schools if they stay in the ACC, and that chasm is only going to grow. And so, yeah, it's certainly a problem for Florida State. But like I said, my guess is this isn't going to be the final finished product,
right?
And so they'll probably still be okay. But yeah, it's certainly a concern.
The other part of this is of all the things that are in it now, the things that finally everybody agreed on, the cap at $48 million. Well, what that means is what we've always had: the rich schools will be the best teams. I mean, because let's be honest, Florida right now is not there. Florida has not been able. Florida, I think, is in the 30s. I don't think Florida's football cap is, because that's all sports, but that's not true. I guess if you count basketball, they're over that. But
I would think, like, again, this is what I would say to that. Like, Florida has shown through how much they're funding Todd Golden's program.
Yeah.
That if John Sumrall somehow goes 9-3 this year, he's not going to have to hunt for money.
Yeah. But the 48 will still help the power schools.
Yeah.
There's some schools that are not going to be able to do that. To me, of all the stuff in here, the most significant to me is the 5 to play 5 with a 1 free transfer, because I promise you there's enough information in here that because the first thing everyone's going to say is, well, people will challenge it in court. Well, if this goes through, they're putting the challenges in court, they're making them obsolete. So this really will mean it's like the old days. You can transfer one time without sitting out. I think that's where we're headed. And of all the stuff, that's the best one to me. The two things I would love to see change in college sports where we are today. The two things. Number one, I wish California schools and Florida schools weren't in the same conference. That's one. And number two, I wish players didn't change teams every year. Those are the two for me if I could change. And it looks like one of those are going to get changed.
Yeah, hopefully that does happen. Again, they could solve a lot of this by just collective bargaining and contracts and just put it in that, hey, you're on a 3-year deal here. You're on a 4-year deal here. But yeah, if they can get to, again, if this does legally hold, I would love that to get to a point where, guys can transfer one time, but that's it. And, barring some, I don't know if they've got any sort of caveat in here for maybe you get a second one if you've got like a parent that's got
I would imagine there'll still be hardship,
but
possibilities.
But I would think a very high bar for the hardship.
I agree.
And so yeah, it'd be again, it's the instability, and part of that is the roster. I mean, we've talked about this. I mean, I love the Gators.
Yeah.
I can't tell you other than the stars that he retained. The Boz and Dallas Wilson and Brown and Graham and Woods. And I know the quarterback battle, Philo and Jones. I can't tell you anything else about this team.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't started practice, but even, I mean, these teams are total mysteries.
Right.
And again,
that will change.
It's really hurting the interest, I think, in the sport.
What the hardship should be in place for, Tennessee had a basketball player 10, 12 years ago. I don't remember his name. But he had already transferred once, so he was going to have to sit out. He was at Iowa. I wish I remembered his name. I think he was at Iowa. But he was from Tennessee, and his dad was dying of cancer. And he wanted to transfer. Do you remember this?
Yes.
A forward, I don't remember his name, but he was going to transfer from Iowa back to Tennessee. His dad was dying of cancer, and he wanted his dad to be able to see him play. Well, they passed a waiver. Turned out his father passed away and never saw him play. But they did it for the right reasons. And so that's why you do it. Not everybody and their brother. So final thought on that before we go to break and go to headlines. At least for today, the Colorado judge has made everybody, now that the 5 for 5 is in play, made everybody in that 22 signing class nationwide eligible. Now, it's not going to affect the football people because it doesn't affect the portal, and they're already in. But the basketball players like Aberdeen, at least today, are eligible. The NCAA is going to appeal that. The NCAA have any chance? Or you think Denzel Aberdeen's fine?
I think Denzel Aberdeen is going to be fine. It's I mean, again, it's this is what we've talked about for a long time now. This is a capitalistic society, and you can't tell somebody they've aged out of an industry at 22 that pays them several hundred to millions of dollars. It just goes against everything that this country is set up, financially by. And so I think any judge is going to look at it and be like, well, yeah, I need to give them relief here. This is, they're being treated unfairly. They have the opportunity to earn, massive money, and just because of some arbitrary number on how many, they're not able to do it. It doesn't make any sense. I'm saying from a capitalistic standpoint. So it makes perfect sense to me as to why the judges have been very favorable on this and probably will continue to be. And it's where this thing has gone. It's, again, this has been a snowball rolling downhill for many years now, and now it is an avalanche.
Yeah, but after this year, once the 5 for 5 is in, I think you'll see far fewer lawsuits, and I think that's one of the things they were trying to get to. We'll see. We'll take a break. Headlines are next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
High school, college, and pro.
As good as it gets.
Your home for the most play-by-play is 1010XL.
This is Hayes Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I don't just talk about Harold and Harold. My family has trusted them. Holt and I actually go way back. We went to school together. Over the years, I've recommended Harold and Harold to my own friends and family because I've seen firsthand how they treat their clients. It's what they call the Harold Promise. You'll be treated like family, and they'll always work to make sure you take home more than they do. If you've been injured, call Harold and Harold at 251-1111.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
He builds quarterbacks from the ground up. Denny Thompson breaks it all down like only a real QB coach can. The quarterback whisperer on the drill.
Accelerated by
George Moore Chevrolet
and Encore Research Group.
Get smarter every Friday on 1010XL.
You know that little voice in your head that says, I really should do something about that septic system? If your yard's getting soggy, things aren't draining like they used to, or you've caught a smell that definitely wasn't there before, don't wait until it becomes an emergency. This month, save $500 on a new septic system installation from Duck Duck Rooter. As the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, Duck Duck Rooter will handle the whole job from permits to final inspection, and you know the work is done right. So when you're stuck, call Duck Duck Rooter, 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com. Financing is available.
Chicken here, it's back to school time, baby, with Zero Res, and right now, book 2 rooms of carpet cleaning for $149 and get 2 rooms free. Yeah, book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and take advantage of the savings. Tell them 1010XL sent you.
Hey, it's Greg from 1010XL, and now that football season's finally here, maybe it's time for a fresh start for more than just your favorite team. 11 weeks ago, I started the Awaken 180 weight loss program, and today I'm down 43 pounds. That's almost 4 pounds a week. No injections, no meds, no supplements, just real food, a simple plan, and a dedicated coach who keeps me accountable by phone each week. Honestly, Awaken 180's changed my life, my clothes, my family. We're all making better food choices together. I regret waiting years to do this because I always had another excuse. So here's my challenge to the 1010XL listeners. Kick off this football season by investing in yourself. You've got a team behind you at Awaken 180, and if I can lose 43 pounds in 11 weeks, imagine where you could be by the holidays. Don't wait until next year or next month. Schedule your consultation call now at awaken180weightloss.com.
When it comes to orthopedic care, experience matters, and teamwork matters even more. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, our fellowship-trained specialists work together to treat a full range of conditions, from knees and shoulders to spine, sports injuries, and joint replacement. You'll be guided by the right specialist for your needs, with coordinated care and personalized treatment plans designed for better outcomes. Smarter care, faster access, trusted expertise. Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
It's time to get your kid in the game with I-9 Sports. From North Jacksonville to Fleming Island, Neptune Beach to Orange Park, I-9 Sports makes it convenient for you just one day per week. Fall and winter registration open right now at I-9 Sports. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Harrell and Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, let's start with the Jaguars. Day 5 of training camp in the books. The first one in full pads. A lot of good one-on-one action there. Good work from Anton Harrison and Trayvon Walker, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought Eric Armstead had a moment or two. I thought both those guys. I thought Anton Harrison had a very good day. Trayvon as well. Looked really quick out there. Remember one thing now about full pads. It's not like 20 years ago. You go from not hitting to sort of hitting, right? So you really don't know what you've got in a running game until you play. And but it's better than not having pads on, and certainly the one-on-one drills are fun to watch for sure.
Let's talk about that running game. Chris Rodriguez absolutely trucked Caleb Bransaw early in the practice. Good to see that physical running from Rodriguez. Liam Cohen met with reporters after practice and said that Rodriguez is looking good running the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he did kind of what you think he's going to do in a way, right? I mean, I don't think he meant to necessarily, I don't think he even really lowered his shoulder on Caleb. It just was one of those hits. And, he showed up, which is kind of what you're hoping. I think, he was feeling better. He's continuously getting better, and we're just trying to be smart with, all right, getting him to work, getting him acclimated while not trying to aggravate it, knowing that we're so early on. And I know he was excited about getting the pads on.
Well, that's what he's got to be, Hayes. I've said this 1,000 times. Bashil Tootin and LaQuinn Allen are both listed around 205, 206, which is average to small for an NFL running back. Chris Rodriguez is listed at 225, could play at 230. He looks bigger. Somebody's got to be the downhill 3rd and 2, lower your shoulders, get your pads down, and go get a yard or two. And maybe Bashil could do that. He's a physical player, but he's not a big guy. He's not. I mean, so they're hoping Chris Rodriguez is that. I think that's kind of the hope. And he certainly looked the part today in the play you're talking about.
Let's talk a little bit about Sunday's practice because, oh my, Travis Hunter was sensational.
Yeah, I would think this is the best practice I've seen him have, and I think I've been to all of them that we're allowed to see. You've heard, I said this at the top of the program, you've heard about the generational talent and how he's just different. And watching him, calling every one of his plays as a National Football League player, and I sort of saw it. I want to believe it. I certainly saw some good. But that day, the interception, the 2 catches, he looked like, oh, wow, that's stuff other people can't do. And that's the whole point. If you're generation, you know why you're generational? You do stuff other people can't do. And he looked like a guy that could do that yesterday. It was a great play. It was fun, but fans were stirring. We were all buzzing about it. It was fun to watch.
Cornerback Jordan Lewis met with reporters after practice today and talked about the amazing Travis Hunter.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. Going back and forth, you got camp 2 times, man. You got to do it as a receiver in the corner, and I think he's handled it really well, man. I haven't seen it going, full time on both sides, and I think he's doing an excellent job of it. He's taking the coaching on defense, the techniques. I mean, it's definitely, different than last year. It's very technical as far as, corner play. And I think he's doing a really good job of it and, taking it in stride. And, of course, we all know he's the exceptional athlete that he is. Just, his mind, it impresses me, just being able to do it all and understand, where he needs to be mentally.
That's the best point of all that Jordan just made is the NFL's complicated. The play call, just the play calls, the formations, the routes you're supposed to run as a receiver, defensively, the coverages, when you're in this, when you're in that, and it's hard for a young player to learn it. It just is. He's got to learn both. I mean, we lose sight of that stuff. Hell, I probably lose sight of it sometimes. That's the most important part is if you're half your practice is at defensive back, when you go play wide receiver, do you know the plays, right? If half your practice is a wide receiver, do you know the coverages? So, no, he's had a special camp so far for sure.
Let's get to around the NFL. The Texans signed Jadeveon Clowney to boost what's already an elite pass rush.
Yeah, they didn't have enough good pass rushers already. So let's go get one more. I don't know how much he's got left, but if Jadeveon Clowney's got anything left at all, with Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson on the same team, boy, can you imagine all in the game together? Goodness gracious, good luck.
No doubt about it. The 49ers rule out receiver Ricky Pearsall for the season with a nagging knee injury.
You know, it was a PCL. It wasn't an ACL. And you rarely, and I'm going to ask Kevin Kaplan about that when he starts coming in here. I don't ever remember a guy missing a season because of a PCL. But it obviously never healed. It's an old injury that my guess is they just said, listen, we've tried this, we've tried that. Let's shut him down and really get it right. It's a shame. He's a good player. He really emerged.
He's had terrible luck since he's been in the He got shot last
year. He had this. You're right.
He played for Billy Napier.
And when he did play, he looked good.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
Well, one thing we saw playing for Billy Napier, he's a really good player. You could tell that he was a special talent. So hopefully he gets this behind him. He's still a young player and can move on and have a terrific career.
Let's get to college football. The Gators will induct two-time national title-winning coach Urban Meyer into their Ring of Honor on November 4th when UF hosts Oklahoma. Meyer will be the 7th coach or player to receive the highest honor, the program awards.
And richly deserved. No matter what happened as an NFL coach, he didn't go very well. No matter what people may or may not think of Urban Meyer, he won 2 national championships in his 6 years there. That's hard as heck to do. It is as richly deserved, honestly, as anybody up on that Ring of Honor. So good for Urban.
And fitting that he's going in against Oklahoma, considering he won the second title against the Sooners. So let's get to college basketball. Denzel Aberdeen eligible for Florida.
For now. And I hope the NCAA is going to appeal. And I don't think they're going to win the appeal. I will say this. If he gets eligible, they will be as clear-cut a preseason number 1 as I can remember in a long time. That doesn't mean they're going to win anything. But going into the season, they will be as clear-cut a number 1 team. I mean, they will be loaded at every spot. If the 2 foreign big men can play at all, I mean, because you got to wonder about the back with Handlockton not there. The backup bigs is certainly something people are going to ask about. But if the 2 backup guys, boy, if their starting lineup is Flan, Aberdeen, Houck, Condon, and Chinyalu, with all the experience those guys, in addition to the talent, with as many college basketball games as those guys have played, boy, good luck is right.
Let's get to Major League Baseball. Tarek Skubal traded to the Dodgers as the Tigers get a trio of prospects. There's been a wave of moves, but give us your thoughts on that and what we've seen in large.
The best team got the best player. The richest team got the best player. That's no surprise. Again, don't hate the player, hate the game. Is that what they say? Is that what the cool kids say? The bottom line is that the league allows that, and so I give the Dodgers. I've never been angry with the Dodgers. As a fan of a small market team that's no good at it, don't blame them. So yeah, look, the Dodgers will be good. I will say this, JJ, a lot of movement today. I mean, it almost seemed
like it keeps coming. And Clay Holmes just got traded from the Mets to the Cubs. The Cubs have made a bunch of moves.
Cubs. Well, I think most of the Mets team is now on the Cubs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but no, you're right about the Cubs. I mean, it's been a very active day.
Unless you're a Braves fan.
Yeah.
They've done absolutely nothing.
No, they did one deal. They did one.
Yeah, but nobody big.
Yeah,
like they expected.
Here's something. I mean, I saw a funny.
Not over yet.
Yeah, I saw a handful of things. The Mets emptying the tank that much was comical to spend how much they pay. I mean, they really are emptying the tank.
Highest payroll in baseball.
I saw the Cardinals traded 2 very good pitchers or pretty good pitchers to the Brewers. You never see that. You never see it. And I know the Cardinals are selling, but you rarely see in division.
Big rivals.
Yeah, big rivals. So, but Hayes, I think it's been more active than I would have thought. And I agree with JJ. They're not done.
Also, the Rays.
Yeah.
Who we don't talk about enough.
Great call.
They've been making moves and they're going for it. I mean, they have the lead in the AL East, so why would you not?
The Peralta move I love.
Yeah, I wanted him on the Braves.
Yeah, the Peralta move. You know what? The Rays might just go win the damn World Series this year. They've certainly been nipping at the heels of that thing.
They might save baseball if that happens. If the Rays beat the Dodgers, that might save baseball.
It may slow down the move toward a cap.
Let's get to the PGA Tour. Michael Thorbjornsen wins the Rocket Classic at 18 under with a brilliant final round 63 for his first tour win. Xander Schauffele finished second at 16 under.
Yeah, watching Schauffele down the stretch, and there were 3 or 4 groups in between them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're in the same group or even back-to-back groups, so it's fun to watch. It just underscores, Hayes, what we've been talking about, and that is there's more good young players that are capable of beating these incredible fields than there's ever been.
Let's get it to soccer. The U.S. is keeping its coach, JJ LaSelva. Tell us all about it.
I think it's a huge win for the U.S. to keep Pochettino. I mean, if you take away, obviously, the last game and the sour taste that are left in our mouth, to me, that was the best we've looked in a World Cup in forever, really. So it was important to get him locked in for the next World Cup. So he'll be here through 2030.
All right,
I think it's good news.
Before we wrap it, for others like me that don't understand the significance of this, why is he so good? And B, why was there the discussion that he might not be back?
Because he is so good, and that he has potential suitors in the club game, which is where all the bigger coaches are. And it sort of was like a coup for us to even get him a couple years ago. So for us to keep him, and you could just tell the style of play that we had was so much different and so much more attacking than we've ever had before. So it's big to keep him.
Well said.
All right, we'll get you out with today's musical note. Happy birthday wishes to Metallica lead singer and guitarist James Hetfield, who turned 63 today. The band has sold over 163 million albums worldwide and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009. This is Enter Sandman.
One of the Virginia Tech's entry song.
Yeah.
And one of the outstanding hard rock bands, certainly of all time. Hour 2 is next. When you come back, we'll hear from a very important part of that Jaguars offense. That is next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Watch this. The ignition code.
1010XL. Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnik Chevrolet is proud to be a 9-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Well, it's earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness, all part of Nimnik's Treating You Right guarantee. Now, look, I've been buying my cars from Nimnik forever. That is a true story. I started in 1982 buying my cars from Billy Nimnik Jr., God rest his soul. He taught me how to buy a car, and I've been doing it ever since. I trust my friends at Nimnik. They care about the community. They care about their customers. They do it right. They've supported our charity, Walk Off Charity, so many times. I really do appreciate them. If you want to buy a car, you want to be treated right, not just when you buy the car, but after the sale as well. Well, that's what they do. They care about their customers. They care about this community, and they care about treating you right. So who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? That answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnik. Visit their showroom off Cassett or go to nimnikchevy.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA, who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you, in this financial climate, or really any, it's never been more important to make your money work for you, which is why I'll recommend Mike McGuire and the Wealth Management Team at South State Bank. Financial planning is based on trust, because it's so important. You can trust the South State team. They offer the best combination of sophisticated wealth management strategies with a truly personal approach. That will help you meet your financial goals. Stop by your local South State branch and ask them to connect you with Mike McGuire and the Wealth Management Team. You'll be glad you did. South State Bank, member FDIC.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is Frank Frangie. Planning a summer road trip? Before you load up the family and hit the highway, make sure your tires are ready for the miles ahead. Big Chief Tire now offers special online-only tire pricing, giving you access to the best tire deals when you shop through their website. It's an easy way to save money and drive with confidence this summer. Shop online and schedule installation at WeKeepJacksRollin.com. Your next road trip starts with the right tires.
Jeff Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. Is your lawn struggling this summer? Brown spots, insects, weeds, lawn disease? They can quickly take over when your lawn isn't getting the right care. Julington Creek Pest Control provides a complete lawn care program featuring premium granular fertilizer, not cheap liquid shortcuts, plus general pest and termite protection. Give your lawn the care it deserves. Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
After attending a Saturday Bumps and Bruises clinic by Southeast orthopedic specialists, my son's hip and shoulder issues were diagnosed quickly, and he's back playing. As a busy family, we really appreciate their prompt attention.
I've been having knee problems for probably 6 months, and I had heard about Southeast Orthopedics on the radio, and I gave them a call. They got me right in. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. It was painless, and it's been doing fantastic.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
If you're getting estimates for replacement windows, do yourself a favor. Get one more. Prosser here. I did, and I was blown away. Cash Building Materials' local team is so experienced, and they know exactly what works for Jacksonville homes at a surprising price. You owe it to yourself to see what they can do before making a decision. Before you buy windows or doors, get a cash quote. Search Cash Building Material. Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
This August, experience David Bowie like never before with the Jacksonville Rock Orchestra at Florida Theater. Hear the unforgettable songs that made David Bowie a legend. A 27-piece symphony orchestra joined by a full rock band changes the music of David Bowie. Saturday, August 8th at Florida Theater. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com.
I'm Jared Justice with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Former Florida football coach Urban Meyer will be inducted into the University of Florida's Ring of Honor during its game against Oklahoma on November 7th. The Big Ten and the SEC have agreed to support the Protect College Football Act. The bill seeks to regulate college sports, and school presidents from both conferences voted to back the bill after receiving last-minute concessions over language regarding third-party name, image, and likeness deals. It's 81 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. 10
Take.
The 10 Take is brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter, septic and air conditioning, septic plumbing and air conditioning. When you're stuck, call the duckduckrooter.com. All right. I love what I think Bashil Tootin can be for this football team. He's got all the goods. He's explosive. He's a good dude. He catches the football. And the combination of he and LaQuinn Allen, who proved last year he's already a good third down back, and maybe a downhill runner like Chris Rodriguez, who's 225 pounds, is a wonderful combination. I like what I think they've got. But the reality is it's the one position where there's not a player on the roster who's ever been a full-time starter in the NFL. So that's the one position that I question a little bit. Question isn't even the right word. I'm just not sure. I love what it can be. But it also means it's the one position, Hayes, where there's a lot of pressure to be good. If Jacoby Myers doesn't have a great year, Parker Washington and Brian Thomas Jr. are there. Brian Thomas Jr. didn't have a great year last year, but the other two guys are there. Brenton Strange, I think, is going to have a very good year, but there's a lot of resources that have gone into tight end. It's as deep an offensive line group as we've had in a long time. We've had that conversation. With the quarterback, there's always pressure on that guy to be good. There's a lot of spots where guys are battling for jobs. But running back still matters in the NFL. I know it's not the elite position group that it once was when Walter Payton and Jim Brown and all the rest played, but it's still an important position. It is really critical that Bashil Tootin, who's the one guy in the group, in my opinion, that can be a megastar, is as good as advertised. He's a good guy. He's a hard worker, but there's some pressure on the second-year player out of Virginia Tech.
Yeah, there is. That one thing that I think helps Bashil is, so he only really got roughly 100 touches last year. He was 83 carries for 307 yards and 5 touchdowns in the regular season with 10 catches for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns. And obviously he had, some work against Buffalo, not as much as maybe we would have liked to have seen in the second half. But one thing with Bashil from a conditioning and physical standpoint is he's in prime shape because last season he had to go through the draft process and he wasn't one of these, I can skip things, guys. He was a 4th-round pick. So, he had to go through he had to treat the combine seriously. He had to treat his pro day really seriously. And so you had to go through all that. Then you get drafted. You come here. You have to learn a new scheme, everything like that. So this offseason, when you factor in, he didn't get a ton of work. He got enough to get acclimated to the league and get a sense of the league. And again, he found the end zone 7 times in the regular season. So that's certainly nothing to sneeze at for your rookie campaign. But I also think it helps him because he has the familiarity, 2nd year with the Jaguars, 2nd year under Liam Cohen. He has the physical toll he didn't have to recover from. I mean, I'm sure it's taxing to go through an NFL season. I'm not trying to suggest it isn't.
Right.
But when you only got 100 touches as opposed to some backs who get 325, so I think he's in a really good place physically and mentally to really have that breakout season. And I would anticipate if he stays healthy that he's going to have it from the way he's looked so far.
A really important part of the Jaguar, not just offense, but football team, is 2nd-year running back Bashal Tootin, and he's the subject of this Hayes Carline one-on-one.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
All right, we're pleased to be joined with Jaguars running back Bashal Tootin here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
Great to see you, too. I'm doing pretty well, Great practice, so I'm feeling good.
Yeah, it looked good out there today. How do you feel like you've been running?
I think I've been running pretty well, understanding the run game more. I think, and as an offense, we upped our level on the run game. So it's looking good. It's looking fluent out there, and I'm loving it.
Bashal, what were you able to take out of your rookie year? Obviously, roughly about 100 touches. How did you feel like it went?
I think it went pretty well, as a rook. Some things I had to work on, and I think I'm, harping on that stuff this camp, 2nd year around. But I think for a rookie season, I did pretty well.
How nice was it to not have to go through a draft process this offseason and really hone in on this team, this playbook, and growing as an NFL player?
It was lovely, last year, the draft process, long process, coming from college ball. So now I can, sit back, get my feet back under me, sit down a little bit and reflect on the playbook. And, I got more time. I'm not coming in with a, full playbook thrown at me. So I can harp on the details and, how things are supposed to be done.
Obviously, we know in the NFL, jobs change, guys move on. You've got a big opportunity now with Travis Etienne now in New Orleans. What kind of what are you trying to do to emphasize and seize that opportunity, Bashal?
Just coming out here working, all day, every rep, not taking it for granted. Being on the keys about details, landmarks, and then, protection, the biggest thing, playing without the ball in my hands. So, with my role increasing this season with ETN going, just, bigger shoes for me to fill, and I'm ready for it.
I saw you guys hit a screen the other day for a touchdown, and there was a nice celebration. How excited are you to get that element of the offense cranked up a little higher than maybe what we saw last year?
Yeah, it's lovely. Coach Cohen wants to harp on, marrying up the screen game with the run game, and then, implement that to our game. And we didn't do too well on it last year, but I think it's a big focal point of our offense, and that's what they're trying to push for. And we just got to go out there and, be detailed on the screen so we can, run it on Sundays.
You guys led the league in run defense last year. How much does it make you guys better going up against that unit that obviously did so well, did better than anybody in the NFL last year, stopping the run?
Man, it's amazing because, we're out there, like you said, top run defense in the league. We can go out there and as an offense that want to run the ball, it's like, iron sharpening iron. So, with them boys on that side of the ball, doing their 1-2, and then the offensive line, the running backs, everyone has to play up to their level. Like I said, iron and sharpen iron. It is looking great.
All right, let's get out of the rain. Thank you so much for your time. Great talking with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, he was a good sport. This was yesterday.
He's a good dude,
so, I appreciate Bashal Tootin, and good stuff.
I will tell you, I've said many times that's the position I'm not quite as sure about because they haven't done it. Here's the flip side of that. If he's what they think, we've seen it's in there. He's explosive. He's physical. He's built low to the ground, so he's a leverage guy. He runs for a guy that's 209 pounds. He runs through tackles. Boy, imagine if they have found something. Imagine if they found something here that maybe nobody saw coming.
Yeah, and I don't think he has to be like all world for this offense to really take off, but the running game just has to be like respectable. Like if the run game can be respectable and they can, rely on it when they need to, it doesn't have to necessarily go out and win them a bunch of games because the passing game is so versatile. But it can't be what it was sometimes last year where it just basically disappeared and put way too much pressure on Trevor Lawrence in the passing game. So, yeah, I like what I've seen so far. I was worried about Rodriguez. Even like looking at him yesterday, there was one portion where he went through the sled and almost got stopped, because he didn't have enough momentum. But then he came out today, and he did get better in that practice yesterday. So maybe he just lost his footing or something. But today, I mean, he flat out leveled Caleb Ransaw about 8 yards down the field. And like you heard Liam say earlier in the show, like it didn't, and I would agree, I was sort of right, like where the hit took place. I just happened to be in a good spot to see it. It didn't really look like Rodriguez did much in terms of getting low. And I mean, Ransaw looked like he'd been, kicked by a mule. So that was good to see out of Rodriguez. So, and I love LaQuinn Allen. LaQuinn Allen had a blitz pickup today. Who was the guy that he just absolutely laid out? Give me 1 second. No,
I think it was Husky. That's what I've heard.
I don't think it was Husky. It was the one I saw at least was Zach Dufree.
Okay. Oh,
and, I mean, LaQuinn Allen came over and rocked him.
Right.
And Dufree was like, I mean, woozy, like going back to the sideline. LaQuinn Allen, I mean, I hope that they're talking about, he's catching the ball better and things like that, and it's going to be more involved. But, boy, I think they've got something in LaQuinn Allen, too.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of what remember when Isaiah Pacheco got to Kansas City? Now they had all this good stuff around him. He had the 900-yard season. He had the 800-yard season. Nobody really knew who he was. Remember, they thought the running back was going to be the old LSU guy. I'm drawing a blank. The LSU.
Oh, Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah. So Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and he was just okay. And then Pacheco's more explosive in there. He didn't need to be great. He was in there with Mahomes and Kelsey and everybody else, but he needed to be explosive, and he was explosive enough. If Bashal Tutin can be what Isaiah Pacheco was, and he tailed off, but if he can be what Pacheco was when he got to Kansas City, isn't that kind of that's what you need?
Yeah, I think if Bashal Tutin doesn't have to run for 1,300 yards for this offense to be one of the best in the NFL. But I mean, and
they got to run the ball.
He might do it, but I mean, that's what I would say. Like right now, again, we're 5 days in, but it looks. I think Tutin is going to be better for this offense than Etienne ever was. So I'm not, and again, the Rodriguez thing I haven't really been overly optimistic about, but I did like what I saw out of him today.
Well, you got him. Listen, I thought Travis Etienne is a really good football player. I think he's going to be very good in New Orleans. I got to figure out what they're going to do with Kamara and how because they're kind of the same kind of bad. But I think he's a good player. I think Travis Etienne's a good player, and I've never not thought that. But it's clear what he's not. That to get your pads low and run in between the tackles and run downhill. That's just not what he is, and that's not a knock on him. And the reality is, you looked up and you didn't have that. I mean, when you looked up on the team, you didn't have that guy, and so that's why I think Chris Rodriguez is important. Again, if Bashal Tutin can be that guy, and then Chris Rodriguez is just RB2, something interesting too. You think LaQuinn Allen can be a not just third down back and special teams guy. You think he's a guy that can be a regular part of the not just running back rotation, because that means third down, you're blocking and whatever. You think he could be a big part of the run the ball rotation, don't you?
I'd like to see him get a chance. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think he has shown enough that he deserves a chance to carry the ball a little bit more. And I think absolutely as a receiver, that's a wide open path for this offense to take another step forward, particularly if they can never figure out the screen game, because LaQuinn Allen's able to go out and run routes and do some really good things. So it doesn't necessarily even have to be like a screen pass. Like LaQuinn Allen can get out and run routes. So I do think that there's more of a player there than just hey, he's great at picking up a blitz on third down. Like I do think he's got playmaking ability that, hopefully we'll get a chance to get developed.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see. Let's take a break. Let's talk some hardball after this. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for